Welcome to Richmond Rising. I'm Lindsay Darnell, your host, and today we are honored to have special guest Battalion Chief Chris Chappel from the Richmond Fire Department joining us. Chris, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So on June 20th, 2024 at 1 p.m., the Richmond Fire Department held a blessing ceremony for the Safe Haven Baby Box. Can you tell us what a Safe Haven Baby Box is and the functions of it, and then let us know the story of the creation of the baby box?
Sure. So in the year 2000, the state of Indiana adopted what's called the Safe Haven Law, which allows for the legal surrender of a infant 30 days of age or younger. Again, that's existed since the year 2000. And it's supposed to be done anonymously so that the parents are able to surrender the child without having to talk about or without having to give up their identity or any of those sorts of things. And it's just to help protect the child so there's not abandonment or anything like that. The way the baby box came into existence was Safe Haven Baby Box is actually a proprietary term. It was started as an organization in Woodburn, Indiana, which is a small town up around Fort Wayne. And it was started by a lady by the name of Monica Kelsey. And she got the idea, she was visiting a church in Cape Town, South Africa, and she saw what was a baby box there. And she had the idea, well, if we can put those in the United States, maybe we can help prevent abandoning of infants and trash cans and those sorts of kind of gnarly things. So in 2016, the first one was installed in Woodburn Fire Station. And since then, I think it's close to 250 throughout the state, and I think 142 or 145 in Indiana alone. And with the safe haven laws that have always been in place, what it allows for, again, is for a parent to enter any fire station, hospital, and surrender a child to a firefighter, paramedic, nurse, any of those sorts of things. And it's always done under the condition of anonymity, so the parents don't have to divulge any of their information or anything like that. And that's really great, but a lot of parents that would have that in the forefront of their mind, they don't want to have to go in and actually speak to somebody face to face, because there's still that, I don't know if you call it shame or whatever it is, those feelings that would be generated from having to do that in a person-to-person interaction. So with the baby box, it adds another layer of anonymity, so they can actually come and surrender the child into the baby box. Everything is securely done. They don't have to face the face-to-face interaction with the fireman or the paramedic or the nurse. And it allows us to safely take into custody the child, transport them to the hospital, and that sort of thing. So
how long did it take the Richmond Fire Department to get the baby box put in place?
Sure. Is my understanding that prior administrations had plans of doing the baby box, but I'm not sure how far those plans went. I got involved in July of 2022. And I approached the administration at that time and presented my idea, and they had mentioned that they were working on concepts to get that going, and I was given the blessing to move forward with it. So in July of 2022, we started the process, and as you said earlier, we finally had our blessing in June of this year, which was almost 2 years later.
Okay. And I would just want to be clear, I know that you were talking about the age limit. Can you just tell us again what the maximum age limit is for a child?
So the way the law reads is it allows the first responders to take custody of a child who is or appears to not be more than 30 days of age.
All right, so I just wanted to be clear so everyone knows what the law is.
Yeah.
So could you elaborate on the process that takes place when a baby is surrendered into the box?
Sure. So the baby box is currently located on the rear of our fire station at South 5th and A Street, which happens to be station number 1. And if you approach from the rear of the building, it looks like just a black flange with a door on it that's hanging on the back of the building. And there's placards on it indicating what it is. There's some phone numbers on there for some information for mothers in crisis or people seeking more information or anything like that. And the bare bones of it is, if you walk up to the baby box, you open up the baby box, you place the child inside, you shut the door, you walk away. There's specific guidelines that have to be met in order for us to place it where it is and all that stuff, such as there can't be any cameras nearby. There's has to be as many precautions taken to keep the people anonymous as possible. And once the baby is put inside the box, there's a series of alarms. There's several of them, several different ones that can go off that will notify either the people in the fire station, or in the event, it is a fire station, so sometimes all of the guys are out on calls or whatever. There's measures in place that will also notify our dispatch center. In the same manner that they receive calls for like business alarms or fire alarms, they'll receive a call that the baby box has been activated, so that if there isn't anybody there, we can dispatch one of our other firehouses, or in the event that we're all busy, we even have it to where we can have the sheriff's office or Richmond Police or an outside EMS agency respond to our station to take custody of the child.
So it's a collaborative effort between all of the departments.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's great. So can you tell us what happens to the baby once they are safe and secured?
So the fire department's policy, and this would vary from organization to organization, but ours is obviously when the alarm is sounded, whether it's the audible alarm or dispatch sends us or whatever, we get to the baby box as soon as possible. We check to see if there is actually a child inside, and if there is, they're taken into custody by one of our firefighters or our paramedics. They're given a quick medical evaluation to see if there's any need for intervention. If there is, obviously we intervene, and if there isn't, we transport them to Reed Hospital in one of our ambulances as if it was a normal EMS call. They'll be strapped in a car seat, put in our ambulance, taken out there, and we call it hands-on. Our firefighter or paramedic, whoever took the child into custody, will remain hands-on with that child until they get to the hospital. They get checked in, they're in a room, and they actually have their bracelet on. At that point, the hospital will take custody of the child, and then they will follow what their protocols are as far as contacting the Department of Children's Services or whomever the next step is. I don't know exactly what Reed Hospital's protocols are, but it's something in that vein.
We also want you to know that this organization offers a confidential national hotline. The National Safe Haven Crisis Line has assisted with over 150 handoff surrenders. As a woman struggling with parenting after giving birth, you may have various concerns and are exploring options for your baby's well-being. It's important to seek the best possible care for your child, and you might feel that leaving your baby at a safe haven box is the right choice. While using a baby surrender box can be done legally, safely, and anonymously, making an adoption plan can also offer all of those things that might give you better peace of mind. Some women might be unsure about adoption in the process. For example, they might have a history of substance abuse or mental illness, or they may be in the United States without documentation. If you fit into any of these categories, we want to reassure you that the Safe Haven Baby Box is a safe and anonymous option. You may ask yourself, why do women consider using Safe Haven boxes? It might seem strange to use a baby box instead of making an adoption plan, but there are several reasons why you might consider the option first. For instance, a new mom might be unfamiliar with the adoption process, afraid of what their family and friends will say if they find out about the baby or an adoption plan, looking for a way to remain completely anonymous, afraid they will get in trouble for something, for example, substance use, citizenship, etc., if you work with an adoption agency. No matter what the reason is, Safe Haven Baby Boxes can help women when they are in need. It is crucial to emphasize that there is absolutely no shame in seeking help and using a Safe Haven Baby Box to surrender your baby. Our first responders understand and emphasize with the challenges facing a mother in need of assistance. We want to reassure any mother grappling with the decision to surrender their newborn that we commend their courage in choosing a safe and responsible option for their baby. Now, Chris, now that we've talked about that, the next thing that I want to ask you about is we're here at your training grounds. Can you tell us a little bit about what the training ground is and how it came into the picture? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the training ground exists on the south end of town, and it's on land that was donated by Richmond Power and Light in the early to mid 2000s. I'm sorry, I don't remember the exact year. And sometime near that point, the original training house was built, which was to allow the fire department to have search and rescue training, ladder training, live fires, that sort of stuff. And that existed for several years, basically by itself. In the last 10 years, there's been many more props added. There's a flashover chamber, there's a burn tower, there's confined space props, there's tower props, There's several different things out here. And 3 years ago was the actual training building was added, which offers an apparatus bay for storage of equipment and also hosting events. There's 2 classrooms that are used by the police and fire departments. And on certain occasions, we'll even welcome in outside agencies to host classes that we usually participate in. Along with the 2 classrooms, there's 2 offices for staff officers and a full gymnasium that allows police and firemen somewhere to get their physical exercise.
So talking about classrooms, you guys offer a fire EMS training for high school students. Can you tell us a little bit about that and what it offers?
Yeah, it's available through the Richmond Area Career Center, which goes through Richmond High School. It offers a fire program and an EMS program. The fire program is in its 10th year. The EMS program is in its 9th year. The fire program is for either juniors or seniors, and the EMT program is just for seniors. Throughout the history of the program, most of the time, kids will do the fire program their junior year, and will do an EMT program their senior year. The reason it was opened up to not have to do both is because the EMT program also offers an opportunity for would-be healthcare workers to kind of get their foot in the door and see what emergency medicine is all about if they want to go into the nursing field or something beyond that. The program is currently offered to students at Richmond High School, Randolph Southern, Northeastern, Lincoln, Hagerstown, and Connorsville. And as I stated earlier, it goes to the Richmond Area Career Center. If students complete both the fire and EMS program, when they are finished, they will have Indiana State certifications in hazmat awareness and operations, Firefighter 1 and Firefighter 2, NIMS, which is the National Emergency Management System, and EMT, which is the Emergency Medical Technician. Which basically means those students who complete both of those programs would meet almost all of the requirements to step in any fire station in the state of Indiana and be ready to go with their classes. Different departments have different age restrictions and that sort of thing, but as far as classes go, they would have everything they need. So the way the program works is the first 3 periods of the day, they would come either here to the training facility if they were going to do hands-on training that day, or the high school provides 2 classrooms, one for the fire and one for EMS, where they will do their classroom setting work. And again, that's the first 3 periods of the day, and then once they complete that, they go on and continue the rest of their coursework like they would their junior or senior year. The overall success of the program has been extremely good. Since its inception, there's been approximately 140 students go through the program. That's including the 2 classes this year. And so far it's generated 9 professional firefighters, 12 EMS employees, 5 police officers, 10 members have gone into the military, 20 students have entered the healthcare field, and 40 have been involved in volunteer services in their local communities, be it a volunteer fire department or something of that nature. So
this program has not only been beneficial, but extremely successful.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I can think of 5 full-time firefighters at Richmond Fire Department right now that are graduates of the Career Center program, and all 5 of them, I believe, graduated both fire, rescue, and the EMT course and have gone on to careers here at Richmond.
Where can students find more information about this program through their school?
So they can contact their guidance counselor at their own school, or they can make arrangements to go sit in on one of the classes, just kind of see what it's all about. But that would probably also need to be coordinated through their class, so probably just the guidance counselor would be the best place to start.
Okay. So talking about the program, and I know we're at the training grounds, earlier this year you guys had a mass casualty incident training program. Now that not only included the fire department for Richmond and the police department, who else did that include?
So like you said, Richmond Fire, and well, first of all, that's put on, it's happened 2 years now, and it's hosted by Red Line EMS, which is an ambulance service out of Richmond. And it involves the Richmond Police and Fire Departments, the Wayne County Sheriff's Department, the RACC, which is the Richmond Area Career Center, the fire rescue class and EMT students. They're part of it. Reed Health EMS has been involved. Ivy Tech with their nursing program has been involved. I believe some of the Career Center nursing programs that I'm not sure if they're through Richmond or if they're through the Whitewater Valley, but there's other nursing classes that are engaged in it as well. And also, both years they've had a medevac helicopter, whether it was Care Flight or Lifeline or whomever, and it's tried to make a very real scenario for everybody involved. And in fact, the room we're in right now is the apparatus bay, and they turn this into a makeshift hospital so that when, patients are triaged and that sort of thing, they can come in here, and that's where the nursing students get involved. That's where they start their live simulations.
Yeah, that was actually very interesting to watch. I was here during that. So thank you.
Yeah.
So now that we have talked about the training grounds, the EMS and fire program and the Safe Haven baby box, would it be possible that you would be able to take us down and show us a demonstration?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. So this is the Safe Haven baby box, and we are located at 101 South 5th Street here in Richmond, Indiana at Richmond Fire Station 1. So do you mind giving us a little brief description?
So as you can see, the baby box, there's just a door under here, just a flange that fits on the outside of the building. Some important information that potential mothers or parents considering their safe surrender would need, such as the crisis line that Lindsay had mentioned earlier. There's also some information up here concerning the Indiana State Code concerning safe haven laws. And basically the process of placing your baby inside is coming up. You open up the door, it opens up, there's a bassinet in there. You would set the child down inside. This is designed to fall out. There's some valuable information in there for the would-be parent, along with some of these numbers and some other alternatives that she would potentially need. And then if we can just go inside here, we'll show you what the inside of it looks like. And then inside, as you can see, it has a bassinet like you would find in a mother-baby care center, something like that, with the mattress and all that stuff. There's a blanket there and a beanie for the child, and again, that orange packet that would fall out to give valuable information to the parent. There's several electrical systems in there that cause the alarms to be activated. There would be an audible alarm going off in here after about 60 seconds. The 60-second delay is to allow the person to place the baby inside and then still get away and keep their anonymity.
Now, to my understanding, this is also heated in the winter time, correct?
Yeah, so there's a little box right there that provides a little bit of heat. The idea is for the child to not be in there for longer than 2 minutes, and that is including all the delays and all that kind of stuff. There could be a situation, again, we touched on it earlier, if all of the crews from this station are out and we have to have somebody come from a different crew, it could be potentially be a little bit longer than 2 minutes, but we want to get the child out of there as quick as possible, but there is a heater in the event that they would be in there for 3 or 4 minutes.
Now, I forgot to ask you, when you guys were considering the baby box, did you guys have a donor?
Yeah, so when I got approval from the chief's office to pursue this project, one of the portions of that was to secure funding for it. And I didn't really know where to begin with that, but I happened to have a friend that was involved with the Wayne County Foundation at the time. And I reached out to him to see, not necessarily to see if they would help, but to see if he knew any avenues I could explore. And in short order, he said that he thought that was a project that the Wayne County Foundation would be highly interested in. And it turned out they ended up almost fully funding the entire project.
That's great. That's great that we have people in our community that are willing to help out with something like this, and it's really important for us to have, a Safe Haven baby box. I know you were telling me earlier that you were based on geological, that this is how you were able to get it here?
Yeah, so when the project started in July of 2022, like I stated earlier, the closest baby box was, I don't remember the town's name, but it was a small town outside of Cincinnati. Now again, it took us 2 years to get it, almost 2 years to get it done, which is a little bit longer than it should have. And in that time, I know Connorsville got one, Winchester got one, Portland got one. There may have been a few others within a 40 or 50 mile radius, but initially this started as simply geography. We're right between Cincinnati, Dayton, Indianapolis, and there wasn't any resources. So that was part of the reason we decided to bring it to Richmond.
That's great. Chris, thank you for showing us this.
Absolutely.
I'm really honored that you were able to join us on this episode and give us a description and let everyone know exactly what is this for in our community.
Sure, my pleasure.
That's Richmond Rising. I'm Lindsay Darnell. Join us next time. Until then, keep rising, Richmond.